As we all know, there has been a major change of the government in the UK recently from the Conservative to Labour, and the change of the ruling party is definitely a big event for the British people. So I interviewed a lecturer in contemporary British history to share his views.
There's broadly a view of seeking to restore public services after they've been undermined for the last 14 years through the policy known as austerity, and also to restore trust in government, which has also been held to have deteriorated over Brexit and the subsequent changes of government, the turn of government. So very broadly, they want to bring stability to government and investment in public services, which would include such things as using removing the tax break from private education to fund more teachers, providing more, using private healthcare to fund more National Health Service operations, greater increase in dental provision, NHS dental provision, nationalisation of British Rail or the railways, and also big initiatives on green investment, not as large as the initiatives were originally, but still quite substantial initiatives. And there are other policy areas too, but those are the broad areas I would highlight.
And its impact not only reflected in policymaking but also affect people's choice of future career development. So to better understand the impact of the change on ordinary people, I've been to Newcastle Council and had the pleasure of speaking to branch secretary of the Unison Trade Union. So let's see what he thinks about it.
Two aspects to that. First one, political ideology. So the Conservative government has a particular ideology and it is not supportive of trade unions in general. And they think that trade unions get in the way of good employment, that we ask for things that we shouldn't have. So what you get as a consequence with the Tory party or a Conservative government is what you've seen over the last few years in this country is a lot of strikes. So the doctors have been on strike, the rail workers have been on strike, because the Conservative government doesn't want to negotiate with their trade unions. So that's their political ideology. The Labour Party, because the Labour Party was formed from trade unions, it has a different political ideology, so they don't hate trade unions and they accept that we're a necessary part of employment, the employment world. So they're prepared to sit down and talk to us. And the second part is industrial disputes, and that's the key thing. So if the government isn't interested in what you've got to say, but you are representing your members' interests, then you end up in conflict. So you end up with an industrial dispute. If the government is interested in what you've got to say, you might still get involved in industrial disputes because you want everything and they don't want to give you everything. But what they are willing to do is to listen to you. So what you'll find today, for instance, is the Secretary of State for Health in the Labour government is meeting with the junior doctors today to try and resolve that dispute. That's been going on for 20 months. The Conservative government have regularly refused to meet the junior doctors trade union, and if you don't meet, you can't negotiate and you can't settle things. So that political ideology is hugely different between the Conservative government and the Labour government, and it massively impacts on how we are able to do our business.